Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. Today we are going to be continuing the drag series with episode number 2. In this episode we are going to be doing all the performance upgrades to our drag car, which is a Plymouth Roadrunner 440. As you guys can see, I have already done a little bit of upgrading to it. I have some drag tires on it. We got some slicks on there. I will put the tire specs in the description. I actually had someone ask me to do that in the last video, so I will do that. And then I also have some performance exhaust parts in. And then I have the performance gearbox. This is something that I really wanted to play around with and try out, and I have done that. Here is, well, I can't show you guys from that. Here is the current setup that I've got with it. This is kind of a baseline, subject to change. So if you guys are watching this and you see something I could change with this, please let me know. I'm not a drag racing expert. I know a little bit about transmissions and gear ratios, so let me know if I can improve this in any way, shape, or form. But this is the current gear ratio we're working with. I have been down to the test track, excuse me, the strip with the current engine we have in there, which is the one we built in the last video. So in this one, we're going to be building the supercharged version, which I actually... This engine that we have on there now is for this truck, which I'm going to be doing a video on pretty soon. A few days after this one. Anyway, so let me go ahead and get this engine off the stand. And let me get the... I have a little bit of the supercharged engine built, so I'm going to go over here to Project Parts, drop this engine in, and then we have to pull the 2-carb overhead valve supercharge out. So let's go ahead and add this engine to the crate. And we just have a block and the pistons and all that stuff. We really haven't done much to it. So let me go and turn it over. We do have to finish up the bottom end. So let's get this engine built. We are going to... I don't know how many performance parts we're going to be putting on this. I feel that we could play around with the transmission a little bit to compensate for the increased engine power. So we're going to go ahead and just... Let's put as many performance parts on this as we can. So I need to go ahead and go to the shop. We need an oil pan V8 overhead valve. Let's see here. Oil pan V8 OHV. We're gonna need a lot of stuff, but I just want to get this little bit done here so we can flip the engine over. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we got power steering pump V8 and an alternator. I know we can get performance part for those. So there's the alternator, adds 1.5% engine power, and then, heck, I could just search for power steering pump. They're just power, and a V8. So we have an extra 3% engine power just from those two things alone. The last time I did a maxed out performance engine was on a Crown Vic back when I first started playing Car Mechanic Sim, and I doubled the horsepower of the vehicle. But I didn't touch the gear ratios in the transmission or anything like that. So anyway, we're gonna have a performance fuel filter. Let's see if we can we have a performance ignition distributor? I think we can. Yeah, there it is, performance. Okay, so we got an ignition distributor. We're gonna need a rotor, and we're also gonna need a distributor cap as well. What else are we gonna need? Oh, fuel filter. Few. All these little parts are gonna add up in the end. We got a cam gear. I wonder if we can have a... Oh, we need an ignition coil B. That's why I was like, oh, kind of feel like I need an ignition coil B. There we go, ignition coil B. 4% just on that alone. Wow, this is gonna be a high power output. Alright, cam gear V8. I don't know if I can have performance cam. We can have performance cam shaft, but not gear. Okay. So let's go cam gear. I believe it was a... Was it a V8 OHV or was it V8? V8 OHV, okay. We're going to need a timing belt for a V8 OHV. Timing chain. We already have the performance... do we have the performance cam installed? We do. Yeah, we have the performance cam shaft installed already, so... I built this engine up a little bit, and then I was like, well, if I build this engine, I'm not going to have any content for a video, so... I got timing cover for a V8 OHV. We can go and pick that up before we get out of this part of the shop. So I do apologize for the length of time in between videos. I've been busy with school. And I just really honestly haven't had the drive to make videos much. I've kind of burned myself out. But I have some new ideas for videos to make. I've got a few games that I really want to make videos on, so if I ever find the drive to make those, I will do that. Alright, I believe these are going to be performance heads, so let's go to the tuning shop, and I have to figure out what the name of them are. What the name of them is, what they are named. So we got engine head, V8 OHV. It's just two V8 OHV heads, okay. And that's going to be 18% power, a nice boost for sure. A little pricey, but money's not a problem, obviously. I can flip vehicles pretty quickly in the junkyard. Go pick up an old car. Kind of like this Ford Taurus over there. That's the SHO version. I've realized that I've never actually built one of those before. I've done the Police Interceptor version, but I've never done that one. Anyway, supercharger intake manifold. Let's see if we can get that. Super. Oh no, we just have a V8 OHVK. Maybe that supercharger will go on here, but I'm not sure. So we have to, unfortunately, go back to the regular shop to get this. So let's go ahead and do supercharger. This is a V8 OHV. And I have a feeling that's going to be our supercharger we're going to be using. Which is fine. Yep. Supercharger V8 OHV. Oh well. Eventually they'll add a performance version of this. But I'm a little interested to see our performance, or not our performance, our power output. I'm interested to see our performance. But I'm also interested to see the power output with this supercharged engine. So we need carburetors. 2 4-barrels. Wow, 24% power with those. I have a feeling we're going to have to play around with the gear ratios on the transmission. This thing is going to output a ton of power. I'm going to have to back off on some performance parts. Like, seriously, I'm going to have to back off on some performance parts. Let's get this done here. I don't know why I haven't done that yet. Yeah, I'm going to need those pesky little clip Bs here. Oh, I'm in the performance shop. No wonder why I can't find them. Clipaga. There we go, clip B. We need 2 of them. And I believe that is the only clips we're going to need for this entire car. So if I can get this one back here, it's a little sucker. There it is, okay. Alright, let's go ahead and get the top done. We need air filter. I believe we can get some scoop air filters from here. So let's type in scoop. Oh, we can't. Okay, well, guess what? We have to go to the main shop. That's good. I don't want to put too many performance parts on this. I have a feeling I'm going to have to play around with the transmission a little bit, with gear ratios and whatnot. Air scoop V8 OHV. Alright. That looks really shiny. Nice. Alright, so the top end is done. That looks really good. I cannot wait to put this thing on the dyno and see our gains. So let's go ahead and work on it. We have to do the front. I believe we just have to honestly just do the front end. The accessory components and then manifolds. So let's go ahead and pick up the manifolds. I don't know if they have performance V8 OHV exhaust manifolds. I would assume they do because it's a, you know, generic. Yeah, they do. Okay. So we'll go and throw those on there. One side done. Let's move over here to the other. Oh, I completely forgot. We have to do the push rods and rocker arms. That's going to be fun. Alright, let's get this front end built, and then we'll work on the heads. So I need a water pump V8 OHV and a crankshaft pulley V8 OHV. I kind of have a general idea of everything else I need for the front here. Let's be a little more specific. V8 OHV. So we're going to need a water pump pulley. Or a water pump, excuse me. We're also going to need a water pump pulley. But that is just for the water pump part. We have a V8 OHV crankshaft pulley. Now let's type in water. We need this. We're also going to need a fan, which I believe it's going to be a radiator fan V8 OHV. Oh, it is a, oh, it's a supercharger water pump pulley. Okay. Well, you learn something new every day, so we gotta go buy one of those. Let's just type in There we go. We're gonna need this, for sure. Guarantee you that. Yep, what did I tell you? Now what do we need? We need a serpentine belt B for a V8 OHV. Just be very specific here. There, right there, that one. Alright, and then it should, oh, we need a serpentine belt A as well. Oh, dang it. Is it gonna let us buy that here? Yeah, it will, look at that, that's awesome. Alright, and then radiator fan V8 OHV, just as I predicted. And then the front of this engine is done. Let's go and work on the valve train. I know what we're going to need for this. We're going to need push rods. It would help if I could spell it right. Push rod. Okay, apparently not. Oh. Push. Ah, that's why. Okay. We need 16 of them. And then we're going to need 16 rocker arms. Man, I'm... My keyboard is not having a good day today. We need 16 of these, and then I forget what heads we're going to need. And then I also need an oil filter. And spark plugs. And a few other things. I forgot a lot of stuff. Is this engine even going to fit in the car? We have this big old air scoop and all this other stuff in there. I don't know if that hood is gonna... Maybe the hood will automatically change for this engine, or maybe the engine sits deep enough in the engine bay that it's not gonna matter. This is my first build in this game with a supercharger, so I have no idea. Come on, game. It's all these little tiny things that make this annoying. I like the engines where you have the rocker arms that are all part of a set and you just have to bolt them all in and it's done, instead of having to do them all individually. Alright, so we need a head cover A and a head cover B, and we'll also pick up spark plugs while we're out in the shop here, so... I don't think they have performance head covers. That would be pretty cool, though. I really don't know what kind of gains you'd get from that. This is going to be a V8 OHV. Okay, I'm not seeing it unless I skipped it. Let me go ahead and see what we're working with. I saw it, dang it. So it's an A and a B, just a V8 OHV. So there's B V8 OHV. There's A right there, okay. So now we need to go over here to the tuning shop. We need to get some spark plugs. We need 8 of them, because we do have a V8. Oops, I almost bought too many there. How awesome would it be if we could paint these parts? If it's not in this game, it'll be in the next game. We'll be able to paint parts. Alright, what do I need to do? I need to have this stuff in here. I need to have an oil filter V8 OHV, so let me do that real quick. I can't do a performance... let's see here. Oil filter V8 OHV. We can do performance clutch parts. I believe that that car already has performance clutch parts on it. So I'm going to go ahead and... not put anything on there right now, because I believe I may or may not have already put some on there. Alright, we need ignition wires V8. Those we can definitely get at the performance shop. There they are. Not looking in the right place. I need to be more specific with my searches. Alright, this engine is done. That looks amazing. Let's go ahead and take a step back and look at it. Wow, that thing looks good. Alright, well, the next step is getting this car down. We gotta get the old engine out, which I actually need to disconnect the transmission and some exhaust stuff from it in order to do that. So let's go ahead and disconnect this exhaust pipe here. We need to disconnect the drive shaft. I also think I have to pull the starter off as well. Yep, we're gonna have to pull the starter off to get the, So hopefully this doesn't mess up my tune. I'm gonna be pretty mad if it does. And I do not have performance parts on there. Oh well. I'm gonna keep the stuff factory. So I'll go ahead and what I'll do is I'll actually pull this stuff off and I'll use it on the new engine. I don't want to go too heavy on performance parts. So, there we go. Alright, let's go ahead and drop this thing down. We need to get our engine crane over to car lifter C. Let's go ahead and pull the engine out. Drain the oil from the engine before using the engine crane. Okay. That makes sense. It's been a while since I've had to drain the oil on any vehicle, so... Alright, let's go ahead and use the equipment. Drain that oil. I don't like how the texture of this has changed. It used to look brown. It used to look like actual oil. Alright, now we can pull this thing out. Did we pull that engine off? No, we haven't done that yet. Oops, I gotta wait for that to go down. Alright, let's go ahead and pull out the engine. So here's the old engine. We're gonna go and put it in the warehouse. Chances are I'll probably end up getting rid of it. But we'll put it in the crate engines. And then we will come over to this engine stand, pull the supercharged engine off. And we will install this thing. Let's go ahead and get rid of this and take a look at our new engine. That looks amazing. I'm a little curious to see how this works with the hood. Oh. To be honest, even though it's bugging through the hood, that actually looks legitimate. I mean, like, that's believable. Doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. Okay, well, let's get this thing up on the lifts here. And let's get our transmission parts reinstalled. Unfortunately, they did not have performance exhaust pipe V8 OHVCs. I wish they did. But what really matters is the headers. And I would say the mufflers. This thing doesn't have catalytic converters on it, does it? No, it doesn't. Okay, this is a pre-emission standard vehicle. And there are no items to work with. What do you mean there are no items to work with? I have a... Do I not have one? Ah. It's a different one. Okay. Well, here's how that's going to work. I'm going to have to copy the... Yeah, so that's how that's gonna work. I'm gonna have to copy the stuff over to it. Let's go ahead and do that. Gearbox. Box. Oh, whoops. This is not the correct shop to be in. We have to be in the custom gearbox shop. So we need a OHV. $1,500. I'll sell this other one, but I'm gonna have to copy the gear ratios over. So let's go ahead and throw this in there. I'm gonna have to play around with it a little bit more. Go ahead and get the drive shaft. I'll get everything installed, and then we'll do the rest of the performance mods. And then we'll take it to the dyno. And then right before we take it out to the strip to test it out, we will work with the gearbox. So my main goal right now is to get it dynoed. I want to see my gain. And then after we get it dynoed, we will take it out to the strip. I'll work with the gearbox before that. So... let's go ahead and work on the tires. I think for now, I'm going to keep them factory. I don't need this anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and... I guess I don't need these anymore. Because yeah, okay. So I'll sell that. I'm going to go and sell that. I don't need this, so I'm going to go ahead and sell it. I have my gear ratios written down, so I'll change those up later. But for now, I need to get some front tires on there. And oil in the engine. Let's see if I kept them. I did. So the rims are mismatched, but the tires are, these are the factory tires that came with the car when I got it at the junkyard. So they're a little bit thinner than the rear wheels, which drag cars have smaller front wheels than they do rear. I know that much. Alright, let me go and save my game with something I have not done. So, I believe this engine, or excuse me, this car is done. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put some oil in it, and then we're going to take it to the... in there. To the dyno. To the dynamometer. Got classic soup oil, premium motor oil. See if I can, there we go. $20 oil change, you cannot beat it. I wish oil changes were that cheap in real life. I do my own oil changes, so I buy my own oil. But anyway. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at our car status here. We're looking at, holy cow, 744 pound-feet of torque. Was this my, no, this wasn't the old one. This is the factory engine power for this. So what I need to do is I need to go back and get the power for the other engine, which is not as much as this, I can tell you that. This is higher power. But we're going to go ahead and dyno this. We do have performance parts on it. So this, keep in mind, this is the factory engine power. This is if everything that I put in the engine was factory. But not everything is factory. We have a lot of performance stuff on there. So let's go ahead and move this over to the dyno. Speaking of being in that menu, I figured out what was causing the frame rate issues in all of my Car Mechanic Simulator videos. For whatever reason, whenever I paint a car, the little puff of smoke effect that you see, just Sony Vegas Pro, which is what I used to render my videos, does not know how to deal with that. For whatever reason, it doesn't know how to render it. In live version, there's no frame rate hit. In the recorded version, there's no frame rate hit, but as soon as it's rendered, there's a frame rate hit. So, I'm thinking that painting my car is what's causing that frame rate hit. So I have a workaround that I'll do when I do that F250 over there. I'll use it. Hopefully it works. So anyway, let's go ahead and proceed with the dyno test. So here's our factory engine power, 537 horsepower at 4290 RPM, and then 744 pound-feet of torque at 2625. So let's go ahead and run the dyno. Man, this thing sounds good. I'm really interested to see our gain here. So here we go. Holy cow. 983 horsepower and 1,300 pound-feet of torque. Wow, we gained 83% and then 81% respectively. Holy cow, this thing is a beast. All right, let's go ahead and move this back over to car lifter C, and then we are going to go on ahead and go do the transmission real quick. I'm gonna go get my I gotta find my notebook that has it, but I'll see you guys in just a couple seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and get the transmission set back up the way that I had it before, so catch you guys on the flippity side. Alright guys, we have just changed up the gearbox tuning. Let me go ahead and show you guys what I have done. I'm running the exact same tune that I was running before. Still running this right here, so as I said earlier on, this is subject to change. I will definitely be changing this. I have a feeling that this gear ratio is not going to work with this setup. This was for the factory engine that this thing had. So this is most likely going to have to get changed. But we're going to go and take it out to the track. So I'm going to go ahead and head out there, and I'll see you guys in just a second. Alright guys, we are here at the drag strip. Let's see how this thing does. Like I said, I have a feeling I'm going to have to change the gearbox up. But anyway, let's go ahead and see how this thing runs. Alrighty guys, we are back here in the shop. So here is what I have gathered from that run. Number 1, we need another gear on the transmission. We need to go at 5 speeds. It was topping out at around 170 miles an hour. So we're definitely going to throw a 5th gear on there for sure. Secondly, it kind of hesitated a little bit. In 1st gear, it maxed itself out, so we're going to have to adjust the gear ratio for 1st gear. So, yeah, anyway, that went a lot better than I thought it would. This thing was really good. It handled it, kind of pulled a little bit. You could see me correcting it. But anyway, this car is doing really good. Has a lot of power behind it. And overall, it actually blew my mind at how this is going. I've never done this before. I've never really played around with the speed track much. So, anyway, that is going to conclude this episode of the drag series. The next episode is probably going to be super short. We're just going to be fine-tuning what we have right now. So, if you guys enjoyed this one, please leave a like and a comment and consider subscribing to my channel. I will catch you guys in episode 3. Take care.